people remember.
All right, I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
it's. I know sometimes people like to get wordy on goals and can spend a lot of time, but I really would say that people probably really don't remember. That's why I'm much about keeping things simple and making it effective. And maybe it doesn't look as shiny and great, but I think what you have in front of you is something that is very comparable to something that you would see in other districts, I'd imagine. You know, I mean, everyone's focused on student achievement. Yeah, it's just, and you can't get it. Sometimes that's where I get a little weird, because sometimes I'll look at board goals and I don't see anything about student achievement there. And so that's why I think it's really important that be really, that's really what this is all about, is how can we help our kids achieve the best that they can in this district.
I agree with that, and but I still go back and look at the 3 goals that the previous board had. We've talked about the financial a little bit, about being the stable, and then create an educational improvement guide, utilize the KISA accreditation program. That's student improvement. The KISA program that the schools have been working on and are getting to that, really the first major phase of it is student improvement. Yeah. So, yeah.
What you're seeing
I do recall that discussion about that, and I think our discussion, and Lance can remind me, but I think it was basically that the district already is doing KISA, because that's what we have to do. Mm-hmm. But we wanted to keep it in, we modified whatever the previous goal B was to insert KISA, because we felt it was very important for people to know that the board and the district is supporting KISA, even though we were going to do it anyway.
Yeah, one of the goals of the state is there. If maybe visuals will help you, it's kind of like you got this super highway, and you got 3 on-ramps, and one of those is going to be KISA, which is your accreditation process.
Right.
One of those is going to be MTSS, which is your multi-tiered systems of support, and then your last runway going up into that superhighway, they're all merging into one lane is your redesign. And that's kind of how the state is building this plan. All 3 of those are merging together. And what we have going on in the district, we have all 3 going on at various stages. Lincoln Elementary is our only redesigned school. But right. The goal is, I think, by 2026 is to have every school district going through redesign at some stage. MTSS is a requirement at the state level, as well as your KISA, which is your accreditation.
Very good. Okay, but there's no reason we can't modify the bullet points under high student achievement if that's where you're going. Greg, on that. So I envision something like the main items: high student achievement, effective staff, advertised as that's our 4 goals, and then maybe what I'm getting at is it'd be nice to see all of it with the bullet points somewhere. But I could also envision something like we had last time, where we had circles or squares where the goals are in there and how they lead to the mission.
Sure.
I'm not a marketing expert, but I can see 2 different ways of doing this. I guess my opinion is that even though I helped develop some of the goals from before, or at least trim them down to 3, I'm comfortable working with the 4 we have.
Yeah, I don't have an issue adding one. I don't want to get into adding 9 or 10 of them.
Oh, well, I know, because, I mean, theoretically, every bullet point could be a goal, and then we just drive ourselves crazy. So we don't want to do that. I think 3 or 4 is a good way to go.
I'm good with that.
If you get 10, then you lose track of what you're doing, so.
But a good goal is also measurable, so how are we going to measure them? And know that after a year, did we accomplish them, or how much did we accomplish?
Well, yes. It looks to me like the bullet pointed items are more
Yeah, I mean-
measurable.
Yeah, they are measurable.
Yeah.
Some are probably a little tougher to measure,
Right.
but
But, yeah. And the initiatives, it's kind of interesting when you think about yearly goals, because we have your 4 goals there with the bullet points underneath. And then we may think as a board that we would like for us to stress some of the initiatives this year, and then next year stress some other initiatives. But I think we can handle those through board meetings and agenda items and discussions, and asking you how you are providing a safe and healthy school environment, right? I guess my point is, they could be goals, but I think we don't need to get too nitpicky. They can be discussion items that you're working on for this year. And then next year, we come up with other initiatives. Yeah. Maybe I'm repeating what we already know. All right.
Well, we almost need to come up with just a broad statement that covers all of that.
The initiatives part, you mean? Or the, I'm sorry. What were you-
Well, it covers, the 4 that you were talking about.
Kind of what our mission statement is.
Well, do we want to discuss goals anymore? Should we move on to other things?
Well, one thing that I like that maintain and provide is safe and healthy school environment. And I don't know where it needs to be in there, but especially this year, that should be one of our #1 goals.
Oh, the initiatives down below?
Yeah, it's one that Ron had put down, the first one.
I kind of almost see like 2 levels here. One is, again, I sort of tried to stumble through it. One set of continuous goals,
Right.
and then one set of short-term.
the one way you're
Goals.
going to,
You know?
the one way you're going to maintain a safe and healthy environment is by the way, as a board, is how you allocate and maximize resources, so we have the necessary things in place to keep it safe. So it would probably
I
be.
see the move, the new, adding a nurse, that was huge.
Yeah, you guys have done a
Those
great job.
things are huge.
Yeah, you guys have done a great job of maximizing and allocating resources to the necessary things to achieve what you really are wanting to accomplish.
Okay. Anything else, Greg, on that one? All right. Well, good. Thank you for your list of items. I know you've done a little work on that and continue tweaking it over the year. And why don't we go ahead and adopt those items as their goals? Yeah, and we'll move on. Okay. All right, let's move to item number 6, which is future meeting agenda requests. Anybody have any issues they want to bring out for? Yes,
I have a discussion I'd like to have.
sure.
We talk a lot about this mental health program that we're establishing and developing and everything like that. I guess I'd like to know more information about it. I'd like to have people come in here and
Sure.
talk to us about it.
Definitely do
I
that.
like to know the credentials.
Yeah.
I like to know, there's a whole lot of things I'd like to know about this program, what they do on the outside, what they do on the inside, how they help the children, how they help the families. Just want to know, this is really a time when mental health is really needed. And
bet.
so I would like to know how they're helping and
Okay.
and making a difference during this particular time.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that and especially those that are maybe choosing not to come back on site and
Right.
being remote,
Exactly.
and we're going to work pretty diligently, and we've talked about this, and making sure that we're reaching out to those kids and offering the same services.
Right.
But we definitely can. I don't know if we can do it in September or August, but we might be able to have it by September.
Okay, sounds good.
Very good. We've got a couple things that I would like to get us on the agenda at some point, but I can't articulate them right now, so I'll shoot an email to you.
Okay. Yep.
Or help, when we craft the agenda, I'll just stick them in.
Okay.
Okay, anything else for right now? All right.
I do have one thing. I just want to keep this out in front of us, and I have asked Rusty a couple times where we're at with the construction over at Roosevelt. We were hoping to get that done prior to school start this year, the first phase.
I can answer that.
Okay.
Yes, and I meant to put that in my report, and I guess
Okay.
I've a single sheet of paper. The gas line is
Oh, yeah. Good question.
Glassman Corporation will be starting the project. They're doing prep work right now, but will be starting next week. They're giving us all indications will be done. It will be approved and ready to go by the start of school. So no issues there.
And to kind of piggyback on that, could we have a update of where we're at with all the HVAC system coming up? And I've kind of lost track of with we hired the
Engineer.
engineer,
Yes.
but
He is putting
we're at.
together the plan right now. Once the plan is put together and we have it, it's still being worked on, we'll put that, bring it to the board and put it out for bid. That should be done, I would guess, by November. Meaning will have bids to approve by November and should have something, and now what that might mean on a start date, that'll be determined based upon what they can do and when they can do it. So that'll be part of the specs that will be probably put in the bid process, but we don't have that yet. That's what the engineer is working on currently.
Okay, that's good. Thanks for bringing that up.
And he's also the same one who's also doing the approval on the process of removing the gas line at Roosevelt as well. So,
Okay.
yeah, we should see something, I would guess, maybe not by September, but probably by October, possibly, you should be able to see something.
All right.
Could we also put on the agenda and we talked about the relocation of the Learning Center after the sale of Washington School. We also need to do some prep work on that resolution. Ron mentioned maybe October, but that is really late if we're supposed to sell it in December. So, I mean, we've known this for over a year and a half, so we ought to probably get on it as soon as possible. So we should at least have a discussion on it at our next meeting.
Okay. Sounds reasonable? Yeah. All righty.
Are you wanting the resolution?
No, just start the discussion so that we're prepared.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be great.
Before we have the resolution, there's some items that we have to have completed.
Okay.
kind of to go along with that, I know we've got that date coming up in December of the sale with that, but I can't imagine that we want to wait that long to start looking at what our possibilities are for the Learning Center.
And that's why we have some ideas that I'll bring recommendations, and
Yeah.
as a starting point, I can do that.
That's what I
That was
think we need
probably
is some
already
recommendations.
probably going to be on the August agenda, the regular
Good.
meeting so.
I mean, you've been working on these issues.
Yeah, we got
for a while.
some ideas. It'll just take board approval on what you guys would like to do, but we'll have some things for you to look at and think about.
Alan, if you have specific questions about, specific items about the Washington sale, do you want to go ahead and email Ron at some point to make sure they're addressed?
They're all on the statute. It lays it out what we have to do, so.
Okay, well,
Yeah, and
I
that
think
Bill would probably be someone that
Bill would
need to
be
be
someone.
included on that. Bill and I have talked on what things need to be done.
Oh,
So
okay.
anything that you make sure you include him.
Okay.
Last thing I have is I just want to make sure the teachers, the staff, everybody I know has got high anxiety about the start of school, but everybody's handling it well. And just thank everybody for hanging in there, working through it. And, as a district, we may have to pivot one or two more times before the 26th, depending on what we're looking. But I think everyone's done an outstanding job, from district administration to teachers to everybody in the district. So, thank you.
Yep.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
And that's part of why you have a mission and a vision and core beliefs, because that's what you anchor to. And because believe me, and these are the things that maybe we've had tough discussions in meetings, where people are frustrated trying to figure things out. But man, it has been so inspiring because the collaboration that has occurred, and that's really in times of like this, collaboration is so key. And we've really come to some and we're looking at it as an opportunity, not as an obstacle. And they've really come together, and that's teachers and administration. It's just been a pleasure.
Yeah.
well, and I don't want to be the gloomy guy in the room, but all the things you're setting up for dealing with COVID are good to set up, because I wouldn't be surprised in 5 years something like this happens again.
Oh man,
Just for my little.
was that sarcasm, Mike? Was that sarcasm?
No, that was not sarcasm. That's actually being honest. All right, let's move on to, we have an executive session tonight. We need to meet to discuss a personnel matter. I move to enter into executive session pursuant to the Kansas Open Meetings Act for matters relating to personnel matters for non-elected personnel, in order to protect the privacy interests of the identifiable individual. The open meeting will resume in the boardroom at,
I would say 15 minutes, Mike.
8:15. In addition to the board, the superintendent, the assistant superintendent and director of curriculum, the assistant superintendent of business services, the director of special education, and the board attorney are invited to attend. Do I have a second for my motion?
Second.
Thank you. Discussion items. We can move next door, or
Actually,
would you
I
mind
think we
if-
could just stay here. Just
Sarah?
if the visitors don't mind, and Jeff doesn't mind walking? Okay.
we just got to wait for all the cameras to get shut down, but he can do
Yep.
that.
I'll continue with my motion. Okay, all in favor of the motion, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstaining? Nope. Okay, motion passes 5-0. Please vote electronically. Nope, we won't. Gotta make sure everything's turned off.
Now, will you let us know?
I didn't